This evening, Sophia woman stabbed 22 times, allegedly by reputed husband. Farmers urged to prepare for unusual weather in May-June. Vendors to continue plying trade in a structured, clean manner, Minister Dharamlall. In the region, Haiti in crisis, UN says gang violence on level of war zone. And internationally, Black Sea grain deal not working for Moscow, KREMLIN says. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for April 26, 2023. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Our lead story tonight: a 31-year-old woman from Sophia, Greater Georgetown, was murdered in her home earlier this morning, allegedly by her reputed husband. Lisa George of Seafield, Sophia, was stabbed 22 times by Meshach Douglas, a 23-year-old security guard of Charleston, Georgetown. According to reports, George wanted to end the relationship she had shared with the suspect for the past 7 months due to ongoing issues. Reports say that around 3 a.m., the woman's 12-year-old son was awakened by his mother's screams and went to her bedroom, where he saw his mother lying on her back on the bed. The suspect was allegedly on top of her, stabbing her about her body with 2 knives. George's sister, who lived next door, rushed over upon hearing the commotion. She and her husband ran into the room and took away the knives from the suspect. When the emergency medical technicians arrived, George was pronounced dead. Upon examining the body, 22 stab wounds were seen on the body. Crime scene ranks, who processed the scene, recovered the 2 knives and found the woman on her back in the bedroom on the bed, clad in only her underwear. The suspect was arrested at the scene and is currently in custody. Detectives are probing the murder and investigations are ongoing. Turning our attention to the courts, Gordon Henry, a 33-year-old gold miner from Falls Top Village in Northwest District, has been remanded to jail for the murder of his brother Clinton Henry in 2018 when he appeared virtually before Magistrate Dale Best at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Tuesday. He was not required to plead to the indictable charge and has been remanded. Gordon was apprehended during a raid exercise at 5 Star Landing in the Northwest District last Thursday. He had been on the run since his brother's murder on May 5, 2018. At the time of the incident, the brothers had been imbibing at Eclipse Falls Stop, Northwest District, in front of their parents' home when Clinton's wife found him lying on the ground with a stab wound to his head. On April 20th, the Port Kaituma police station received information about Gordon's whereabouts and went to the 5 Star Landing to search a shop for illegal arms, ammunition, and narcotics. While there, they found nothing illegal. However, they saw Gordon and apprehended him. He was told of the offense committed, cautioned, and arrested. Gordon will return to court on June 6, 2023. In other news, vendors will continue to ply their trade along Regent Street, Georgetown, in a clean and structured manner. This was on Tuesday reaffirmed by Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Nigel Dharamlall, who took to the streets to ensure that vendors complied with the requisite standards. He said the exercise was in keeping with President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali's directives and to dispel rumors that were causing public discomfort and worry.
We had received reports that the opposition has been spreading rumors that stalls are being broken on the instruction of the government on Regent Street. And as you're aware, based on this visit, that no stalls have been broken. This is not a position of the government. We would like people to ply their trade, but do so in a very structured, organized way.
Minister Dharamlall also highlighted the importance of cleaning the drains to mitigate flooding during the upcoming rainy season. In keeping with this objective, a cleanup campaign will be conducted on Sunday, April 30th. Meanwhile, Town Clerk of Georgetown, Candice Nelson, is supporting the initiative.
The City Council recognizes the importance of a clean environment, and given the fact that the rainy season is almost upon us, we saw it pertinent that we come out and clean the drains in order to prevent flooding within the city. So what we've started on Sunday is the removal of pallets that were blocking the drains, and we will continue this exercise this Sunday, where we'll come out with the assistance of the vendors and we'll be desilting the drains so that we can prevent flooding going forward.
Nelson further dispels rumors that vendors are being removed.
It's important that I should mention that in this exercise, nobody will be displaced. All of the vendors will be able to come back and vend after the exercise has been completed.
Stick around when we return. Farmers urged to prepare for unusual weather in May-June, and laborer dies in a fatal accident at Mackenzie Sports Club ground.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all we will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing, with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for doing surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and that is your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you look, let me show you that light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Farmers and large-scale farming companies in Guyana have been advised to prepare for unusual weather patterns predicted for May-June. The announcement was made by KREMLIN Dharamlall, climatologist of the Hydrometeorological Service, Ministry of Agriculture, during the 14th National Climate Outlook Forum held at the Hermiston Lodge. According to Dharamlall, the May-June season will be much wetter than usual, but quickly change to a dry period, eventually leading to drought. He emphasized the need for farmers to harvest water properly to cope with the dry period in July and August. Dharamlall also suggested that farmers focus on daily weather forecasts and consider alternative measures such as cultivating drought-tolerant crops and collecting water from trenches and conservancies. The Ministry of Agriculture has been working to ensure efficient water flow through operable pump stations and conducting cleanup campaigns to clear drains and other waterways for flood mitigation. The Ministry of Housing and Water has also been drilling potable water wells to ensure adequate water supply. In other news, police in Regional Division 10 are investigating a fatal incident at the Mackenzie Sports Club ground in Linden, resulting in the death of 43-year-old Cladwin Richards, also known as Fat Boy or Junior, a laborer residing in Soustdike Linden Highway. Reports said that around 11 a.m. on Tuesday, April 26, Richards was working on the construction site of the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, along with an operator who was contracted to drive piles into the ground. Richard was preparing the timber piles to be driven when he slipped and fell between one of the piles resting on the floor. The pile he was walking on tumbled and fell on his head, pinning him down. Assisted by other workers at the site, the pile was removed and Richard was taken to the Linden Hospital complex, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The post-mortem examination conducted by government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh revealed that he died due to crushed injuries to the head. No foul play suspected in the incident. The body was subsequently handed over to the relatives for burial. Don't go away after the break. Colombia hosts international conference to discuss Venezuela and Haiti in crisis. UN says gang violence on level of a war zone.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, fried spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and that is your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle, and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you look, let me show you that light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash you your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Man.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Armed gangs in Haiti have been steadily expanding their influence since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse nearly 2 years ago. In October, Haiti's embattled government requested foreign military assistance, but so far, there's been no intervention in the Caribbean nation. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
They're getting more powerful every day. Armed gang members in Canaan, on the outskirts of Port-au-Prince. The UN estimates gangs now control 80% of the Haitian capital. But gang members say they're the least of Haiti's many troubles.
People say gangs like ours are the country's biggest problem. But where do we find all these weapons? People live in areas without food, water, roads and hospitals. And they accuse us of being the country's problem. We leave it for the state to answer.
Haiti has been in the middle of an economic and political crisis for years, with violence spiraling out of control following the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. Alexandre Macandre's house was set on fire by armed groups trying to take control of another part of the capital.
As you can see, all these are people who burned inside the house. They could not be saved during the invasion. So many people died. This is a terrible thing that happens in the country.
Thousands of people have been displaced because of the violence. Many are living in shelters, often unable to go back to their homes. Francesca Michan's husband was executed by gang members.
While my husband was trying to enter the house, they took him, shot him, and burnt him with his motorcycle. That's why I came to the shelter with my children. When I returned home, our house was completely burnt. I didn't save anything. My husband was a motorcycle driver. He was the one who took care of all the family.
Haiti lacks the trained security forces needed to help the state regain control over lost territory. 6 months ago, the government requested international military assistance, but nothing so far has come to the appeal. Recent leaked U.S. intelligence documents show that Russia's Wagner Group was offering help in fighting the gangs. Analysts say that's not the answer to the country's problems.
I think that we need to find our solutions ourselves, and I think the United States needs to be more proactive in helping us out. But we think we need to work with the diaspora, the international community, and Haiti to find a solution. The Wagner Group from Russia, it has its reputation. We've seen some videos. This is not something that we're looking forward to.
While the international community tries to find a solution, thousands remain trapped in the chaos that has taken over their daily lives. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera.
Colombian President Gustavo Petro has hosted world leaders in Bogota for a one-day conference to discuss the political situation in Venezuela, where critics accuse the administration of Nicolas Maduro of stifling opposition. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
It was supposed to unlock Venezuela's long-standing political deadlock, but at the end of a highly expected international conference in Bogotá, the announcements showed little concrete results.
Common positions were identified. First, the need to establish an electoral timeline that allows for the holding of free and transparent elections, with full guarantees for all Venezuelan actors. Second, that the steps agreed to the satisfaction of the parties go hand in hand with the lifting of the various sanctions.
Representatives from 19 countries and the European Union gathered in the Colombian capital to try and force a restart of the talks between the Venezuelan government of Nicolás Maduro and the opposition that were suspended months ago in Mexico. Since then, Colombian President Gustavo Petro has become a de facto mediator between the United States, Maduro, and the opposition to try and forge a roadmap out of the long-running crisis, one in which the US will agree to lift sanctions in exchange for free elections.
We need to establish a timeline for the elections and its guarantees. The Venezuelan people need to choose freely, with the sovereignty and without pressure, what they want.
The US and the European Union sent a high-level delegation to the conference, signaling they agree that the Mexico talks are the best path forward after having failed to force a regime change in Venezuela, despite years of economic crisis in the country that forced millions to flee. On Monday, the conference was almost disrupted by the unexpected arrival of Juan Guaidó, the former leader of Venezuela's opposition, who hoped to meet with international delegates without having been invited. The Colombian government said he had entered the country legally and that they allowed him to leave for the United States. Guaidó questioned Petro's neutrality in the negotiations and said he feared for his family back home.
After 60 hours on the road to get to Bogota, escaping the persecution of the dictatorship, defying the Maduro regime, they're taking me out of Colombia. The persecution of the dictatorship, unfortunately, has reached Colombia.
But in the end, Guaidó wasn't the main problem. The real issue is just how to convince Maduro to loosen his grip on power. The Venezuelan government insists that sanctions need to be lifted immediately, including some $3.2 billion held in US banks. For now, the international community is just hoping to be able to convince Maduro to sit down with the opposition again. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogotá.
And internationally, the Kremlin says the Black Sea grain deal is not working for Moscow, putting the future of the agreement in doubt. The UN has suggested an expansion of the deal, which lifted the blockade of the 3 Ukrainian posts. Al Jazeera's Jonah Hall reports.
The agreement, reached last summer after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, helped to tackle a global food crisis. But now the Kremlin says it may have run its course, casting doubt over whether the Black Sea grain deal will be extended beyond May the 18th.
As for the deal, the thing is that while so much time has passed, it has still not been implemented. It has not come together as a package. The conditions that have concerned us have still not been realised.
Ukraine is a major global producer of grains and oilseeds, and the point of the deal was to allow safe wartime exports from Ukrainian ports on the Black Sea via a protected maritime corridor. Since last July, Ukraine has exported close to 30 million tons of agricultural products, including corn, wheat, barley, rapeseed and sunflower oil. Around a third is shipped to lower-income countries in Africa and the Middle East, but the leading recipients have been China, Spain and Turkey. But Russia had expected concessions in return, aimed at restarting its own exports of grain and fertilizer. Its demands include the lifting of restrictions on agricultural transactions through the international SWIFT payment system, the lifting of sanctions on food and fertilizer companies, and the resumption of machinery and parts supplies. On Monday at the United Nations in New York, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Russia had seen little progress. In a sign that hurried diplomacy is now underway, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres presented Lavrov with a letter to President Putin proposing alternative ways of meeting some of Russia's needs. The failure of the deal would hit Ukraine's economy hard and worsen global food insecurity. It would also remove one of the only remaining platforms of cooperation between Russia and Ukraine. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV 2 headline news for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Safe TV 2 headline news on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and in the evening at 7 o'clock for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.